Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy shared his views on security guarantees for Ukraine on Sunday, ahead of his meeting with the U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday. According to Associated Press, Zelenskyy arrived in Brussels Sunday to participate in talks with the EU leaders. A strong army is the only thing that can provide security guarantees. Only Ukraine can provide this, Zelenskyy said during a press conference with the President of EU Commission Ursula von der Leyen. I believe that only Europe can provide funding for this army, and weapons for the army can be provided by our domestic production and European production, but there are some things that are in short supply and are only available in the United States of America, he added. This, I believe, are security guarantees. Zelenskyy reiterated his preference that, given the importance of the territorial issue, it should be discussed only by the leaders of Ukraine and Russia and the trilateral Ukraine, United States, Russia. European and NATO leaders announced Sunday that they'll be joining President Volodymyr Zelenskyy in Washington for crucial talks with President Donald Trump, rallying around the Ukrainian leader after his exclusion from Trump's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The remarkable move, with one European leader after another announcing that they'll be at Zelenskyy's side when he travels to the White House on Monday, was an apparent effort to ensure that the meeting goes better than the last one in February, when Trump berated the Ukrainian president in a heated Oval Office encounter. The European leader's presence at Zelenskyy's side, demonstrating Europe's support for Ukraine, could potentially help ease concerns in Kiev and in other European capitals that Ukraine risks being railroaded into a peace deal that Trump says he wants to broker with Russia.
Thank you so much. It's crucial that Europe is as united now as it was at the very beginning, as it was in 2022, when the full-scale war began. This unity really helps to reach real peace, and it must stay strong. First, we have to stop the killings. Putin has many demands, but we do not know all of them. And if there are really as many as we heard, then it will take time to go through them all. It's impossible to do this under the pressure of weapons. So it's necessary to cease fire and work quickly on a final deal. We'll talk about it in Washington. Putin does not want to stop the killing, but he must do it. Thank you so much, dear Ursula.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Russia is still unsuccessful in Donetsk region. Putin has been unable to take it for 12 years. And the constitution of Ukraine makes it impossible to give up territory or trade land. Since the territorial issue is so important, it should be discussed only by the leaders of Ukraine and Russia at the trilateral Ukraine, United States, Russia. So far, Russia gives no sign that trilateral will happen, and if Russia refuses, then new sanctions must follow. Third, it's important that America agrees to work with Europe to provide security guarantees for Ukraine, and we are very thankful to the United States and to the President for such signal.
You have microphones in front of you. If you can take one, that would be fantastic. Thanks.
Передусім, я не знаю, про що реально говорили Путін і президент Трамп. І я хочу, щоб багато деталей президент Трамп сказав мені, потім європейським лідерам. І те, що президент Трамп сказав сигнал про гарантії безпеки, для мене це набагато важливіше, ніж думки Путіна. Тому що Путіна не дасть ніяких гарантій безпеки. Гарантії безпеки – це сильна армія. Це може дати тільки Україна. Фінансування цієї армії – це може дати тільки, я вважаю, Європа. Зброя для цієї армії – це може дати наше внутрішнє виробництво, європейське виробництво, але є дефіцитні речі, які є тільки у Сполучених Штатах Америки. Оце, я вважаю, гарантії безпеки.
To both presidents, we can now take a...
щодо гарантій безпеки для України, які прийнятні для Росії, так? І які...
Чи підключають, чи є troops on the ground, чи є така захист, як у деяких інших держав в небі, ви знаєте про що я, чи є у нас можливість мати сучасний total number of air defense. Це тільки поки що запитання. На них ми дуже хочемо отримати відповідь, щоб розуміти, що таке гарантії безпеки. Те, про що ви говорите, мені здається, це сигнали руської сторони, що вони не будуть нас далі окуповувати. Але, якщо чесно, це поки що це просто слова. І на рівні тристоронньої зустрічі готові говорити. Що стосується Білого дому, я налаштований дуже продуктивно. І в гарному сенсі. В усіх сенсах цього слова.
US Senator from the Republican Party, Lindsey Graham, said in his X that Russia's war against Ukraine could be ended before Christmas if a trilateral meeting of the presidents of the US, Ukraine and Russia takes place. According to him, the participation of Donald Trump, Volodymyr Zelenskyy and Vladimir Putin in a direct dialogue would be a decisive step towards achieving peace. In an interview with Fox News, Graham stressed that while hopes for such a scenario are cautious, the very fact that Trump is willing to discuss ending the fighting offers a chance for progress. The senator noted that without such a dialogue, the situation could drag on and Russia will continue its daily attacks on Ukrainian cities. Graham also emphasized that if diplomacy fails, the US is ready to increase pressure not only on Moscow but also on those who help the Kremlin finance aggression. According to him, this primarily concerns countries that continue to buy Russian oil and gas, thereby sponsoring Putin's military machine. If Putin refuses to negotiate, Trump may take tough measures, and this will be a blow not only to the Russian economy but also to the countries that support it with trade deals, the senator said. Recall earlier, Eastern European politicians have reacted sharply to statements made by Russian dictator Vladimir Putin after his talks with US President Donald Trump in Alaska and to the summit's outcome as such. CNN reports Lithuanian Defense Minister Dovile Sakalien accused Putin of manipulation and using veiled threats in a post on the social network X. She was referring to the Russian leader's warning to Ukraine and European countries in which he called for not to sabotage the agreements reached during the summit. Czech Foreign Minister Jan Lipovsky spoke no less harshly. He noted that he appreciates the efforts of Washington and personally US President Donald Trump in finding ways to peace, but expressed doubts about the sincerity of the Kremlin's intentions. If Putin really wanted peace, he would not continue to attack Ukraine every day, Lipovsky rightly emphasized. This reaction from US allies in Europe underlines that trust in Putin is minimal. For many countries, it is obvious that Russian aggression against Ukraine continues, and any promises from Moscow look more like a cover for new attacks than a real desire for peace, especially since there was simply no real substantive results from the meeting in Alaska.